Okay. Hi, everyone. Including Jackson. Okay. Trying to think of where I start with this. So last night I watched Super Troopers 2, and before I get into that, I want to briefly discuss two itchy spots. Briefly discuss what I thought of the first film, which isn't. I don't have a whole lot to say, because I haven't seen it in like a decade. Like it's been a long time, so my recollection of that movie is very, very little. What I think of the Broken Lizard writers, I do like. I've seen a few of their films, such as the first Super Troopers, Beer Fest. I'm blanking on the rest at the moment. The power of editing. After briefly looking back over at a few things, I've seen this director's work mainly. Like I said, the first Super Troopers, Beer Fest. I saw Dukes of Hazzard, which I more often than not like this guy's work. And if I recall correctly, the second Super Troopers is a Kickstarter campaign movie, I believe. And so this was mainly funded by the fans of the first film, which I remember liking, but it's been so long I might as well have not even seen it, honestly. Uh, so, lo and behold, we have a second movie after... Oh, geez, how long has it been since that first film came out? Because it's, 2001, so, yeah, 17 years. And going into this next film, going into Super Troopers 2, I wasn't leaning one way or the other of like, oh, I'm really gonna love it or I'm really gonna hate it. I was just like, oh, looks like it could be fun. Alright, let's do this. I remember liking the first one, why not? I hated this. I hated Super Troopers 2 so much, and I'm only speaking for my point of view. I don't know how any of the fans are taking this movie, whether they like it or not, but for me, this is a terrible 4th of July gift. Oh, fuck this movie! Oh, it is... Okay, to get into the plot. It is about the old gang getting back together after however many years it's been since they were on the force because an incident occurred with Fred Savage, which, spoiler alert, it did not go well for Fred Savage. And because of some sort of territorial dispute between Canada and America, the border in one section is being moved, and of course, it's where, that they basically worked before, the gang, so they were called back on duty to help with the switchover, and then something about Rob Lowe smuggling drugs over the border by not moving the drugs at all. And that I guess that's the plot. I don't know what to tell you. This movie sucked. Like, it sucked. It has zero funny moments for me. Like, I didn't laugh once. I didn't even chuckle. I was sitting there just like, so when does the story actually start going? Because they start with the whole border thing and they're back on duty, and then it's just a string of vignettes from start to finish. And I'm just like, there's no structure to this thing. I don't know how far along we are in this piece of shit. And then when it all ended, I'm like, oh, okay, it's over now? It all ended up being for nothing, all this crap going on between, like, the feud between the Canadian Patrol and the Super Troopers. Because it turns out that the border thing was postponed, so the entirety of the first movie was pointless. Completely pointless, because whatever Rob Lowe was doing with the drugs wasn't illegal anymore, because all these drugs and stuff, I believe, were legal in Canada. You know, I'm not sure about, there was also guns too, so maybe that was illegal as well. I don't fucking know. But it all ended up being fucking pointless. So I sat there watching Rob Lowe punch a dick, troopers chase around kids that are cracked out of their minds, and the fat guy, I don't remember his fucking name. Hold on. I'll look him up. Because I refuse to remember these motherfuckers' names right now, because they just pissed me off. They really did. I was just done with this movie like 15 minutes into this damn thing. Farva is the character's name, played by Kevin Heffernan, and I believe I've seen him in other things. I'm pretty sure, you know, in the Broken Lizard films as well. He annoyed me so much. And I understand that he's supposed to be the annoying character in the movie to all of the cast, you know, to all of the other characters. But there was nothing redeeming about him at all. He wasn't charming, he wasn't funny, he wasn't charismatic, he wasn't cool. There was nothing about this character that made me want to watch him at all. Every time he opened his mouth, I wanted to throw my fucking television out the goddamn window. Oh, I hated this character. And again, I understand that it's a character that's meant to be hated by the other characters, so you're supposed to feel relatively how they feel, I suppose, but it didn't work. Like, there's been plenty of times in other movies where there's a loudmouth character, you know, total douchebag that's, you know, hated by the majority of the main group, but there's something about them that carries you through, you know. Oh, Sean William Scott as Stifler from the American Pie films, who was in this movie briefly in a pointless opening scene that literally is just a dream sequence and then overdone. Who gives a shit? Stifler's character from the American Pie movies, yeah, he's a loudmouth, he's obnoxious, he's a douchebag to all the other ones, but you know what? At least he has comedic timing. At least there are times where it shows that he could be an actual human being. At least they find a way to make something entertaining or interesting about his character or the story that he's going through in one of those American Pie, American Wedding, whatever movies that he's in. This guy sucks. He fucking sucks so bad. And everyone's jokes suck in this fucking movie. It's Canadian puns, it's dick joke, it's fart joke, it's shit joke, it's piss joke, it's dick joke again, it's fart joke again, it's piss joke again. It's the same shit for like 90 minutes, and I was so done with it after 5. I was like, can we do something else? Anything anything else other than listen to the same Canadian puns and them going, oh, a boat. It's funny because Rob Lowe went, oh, how about that? Let's get some pancakes. Fuck off! Just fuck off! Like, that's not a joke! Give me a goddamn joke! Oh! Sorry. I just... Okay. But yeah, the characters are unlikable, not funny. There's not a joke that lands once in this movie, not even a sight gag. It's just things happening. It's, like I said, a string of vignettes. Like, there's a vignette with them in a stripper bar, and that they get beat up by strippers, and the joke is that there's a dick in someone's face. And then another scene where there's kids cracked out of their mind, so the joke is that they're chasing after them. There's a scene where they start doing the drugs that they confiscated from a random fucking hut in the woods. That's the joke. It was just annoying to sit through, and like I said, there's no structure to it. There's no story arc. There's no character arc for any of them. I couldn't tell when I was ever nearing the end of the movie, because it was just, okay, now this thing is happening, and moving on. Oh, well, there's a scene with Rob Lowe, and it's funny because they're talking about pancakes. A random scene with a bear that goes nowhere. A random scene with this love interest for one of them that goes nowhere, then gets restarted. It is... Like, I feel like I'm not doing a very good job right now in discussing what it's about, but it's not about anything. Like, the whole point of this movie is completely obliterated within the last scene because they say that there's no border shift anymore. So everything that was supposedly illegal, I don't think is illegal anymore. I just... I don't, like I said, I don't know how fans of the first film will take this movie. Maybe the nostalgia factor will sink in, and people that are a little bit more well-versed with these characters will find more and get more out of this movie than I did, because I didn't grow up really with this. I saw it when I was young, and then once or twice when it was just on TV passingly, but I haven't seen it in like a decade, maybe more so. So I don't know. So it doesn't really hold up for me. But a fan of this, I don't know. Maybe you'll get something out of it. Maybe if you have more fondness towards these characters than I do, you'll enjoy yourself more. Like, you'll probably have more fun seeing these guys, riff off of each other again. For me, none of the jokes landed. None of the characters were likable. None of the story was engaging. I was just irritated and angry for a 90-minute fucking sit. I just had enough of it. I was done. So, take that as you will, coming from not a real true fan of the original. I mean, I'm not saying that I dislike it by any means. It's just, I don't have the fondness and love for it as most everyone else does. So if you do, go for it. I hope that it does better for you than it does for me. Anyone who's not really a fan of the original or doesn't know it that well like me, doesn't, hasn't watched it like every 420 for the last 17 years, then you might want to stay away from it, because I sure as shit will never, ever be seeing this again. Okay, well that's all I have to say on it. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. Leave a like, share, subscribe. Which is unlikely with this video. I'm sure everyone that watches this is like, fuck you, I love the original. Like, I'm sorry. That's for you, not for me. Bye. This is awkward.